Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP in chat. If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. I don't know why I just yelled that into your ear. Sorry about that if you're wearing earbuds. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming back. So, I just want to say a huge shout out to Shay. If you guys caught me on Shay's live over the weekend, if you're watching this in real time, I was on with Kel of Chris and Kel. I will link the live for you guys up in the eye if you'd like to see that. But I imagine that we have at least a handful of new people here from that live. So if you guys are here from that, thank you so much for coming. You guys helped me achieve a huge milestone. I hit 2,000 subscribers while we were on that live. So thank you guys so much. I had the best time. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't see it, check it out. I actually am gonna watch the replay back today because I missed like 99% of the comments. And I know there was a lot of things happening in the chat that I would love to be a part of. But it was so much fun, and I loved being able to do it. You guys, it was so much fun. So if that's how you guys found me, thank you so much. If you've been here for a while, thank you so much. If you're somewhere in between, thank you so much. I'm just excited. I hope that you guys all had a wonderful weekend or day or whatever, whenever you're watching this. I didn't think I was going to turn my fan on, but I am. It's so weird. It's today. Okay. If you guys don't know, I live in Pennsylvania, and we live in a state that has 4 seasons, and sometimes all of them in one day. So today, it is supposed to be a high of almost 60, like 58, 59 degrees, and then it was a low of 38. Mind you, I walked my kid to the bus this morning, and it was like 32 degrees out. I'm like, how is the low higher than what it is right now? Wouldn't that be the new low? I don't know. I don't work for the weather apps, but it was so incredibly cold walking her to the bus stop, and I was not expecting that, you guys. I was cold. I don't get cold very often. I don't get cold. I mean, I get cold, but I don't get as cold as the average person does. However, if I am cold, it takes me forever to be able to, like, thaw out. So that's fun. But then I was talking to my kiddo. The other day, we were chatting, and she says to me, "Mommy, everybody says that I need to wear a warmer coat." If you guys don't know, I have a kid in kindergarten. And I'm like, okay, well, who is everyone? Because, you know, I know how kids operate. And she goes, everyone. And I said, okay, like, who is everyone? And she just continues to repeat to me, everyone. I said, okay, well, are you talking about your teachers? Are you talking about, you know, like the bus aides? Are you talking about the principal? Like, who is everyone? Because so far, everyone sounds like a bunch of nobody. And, so she's like stomping and grunting at me, and then she's like, fine. And she's like, said one of the girls in her class told her that. Now, this is a little girl who has younger siblings, so she's very motherly, and I don't doubt that she probably, in conversation, said something to my daughter about, like, you should probably wear a better jacket. Now, if you guys didn't know, you cannot wear a thick winter coat in a car seat. So my daughter wears a fleece jacket. It's the same jacket that she wears to ice skate. Here's my theory. Besides the fact that it fits in the car seat. If it's warm enough to keep this child warm in an ice rink while ice skating on a, you know, giant slab of ice, it's warm enough for her to wait to be picked up or dropped off in. They don't have the kids play on the playground for recess if it's under a certain temperature. But my kid has this bubble coat, and she is obsessed with it. And I let her wear it when she rides the bus, which isn't very often, but she wears it when she rides the bus just because she's not in a car seat, and she loves wearing this thing, but she doesn't get to wear it as her, like, everyday coat because I don't mind, like, if we're going out and about, putting her in the car without a jacket on, and then when we get somewhere, like, putting on our real jacket. But at that point, like, what's the point of putting the jacket on if you're just going to go from your car to the inside of a store? I know there are a lot of people, like, old school, like, thoughts that kids are going to get a cold if they're out, they're going to get sick if they're out in the cold. She's fine, you guys. She's fine. Her safety in the car is far more important to me than a lot of things. But, yeah, so it was just really interesting. So this morning, we're walking to the bus stop, and I can see she's really cold. And, I mean, granted, listen, it's been much colder than that, but for some reason, it just felt super cold, and I don't know why, but we were walking and we were talking, and she said something about, I said, are you allowed to wear your jacket in your class, or do you have to take them off? And she said, oh, no, we can't wear our jackets in school. And now I'm like, oh, really? It is almost March, and I'm just finding this out. And she goes, so it would be nice on those days, when I'm cold, that I could keep my coat on. And I'm like, you can't keep your coat on? Again, it's a fleece zip-up. It's not like a big puffy coat, or, I mean, she does have that as well, but, like, in general, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a thin fleece jacket. And I'm like, she can't keep that on. I'm so confused of what to do now, because every time I send my kid to school in a sweater, it comes home in her backpack and not on her body. She does not like, I think a lot of kids are like this. Maybe they're not. I only have one, so I can't speak from experience. But she doesn't like the feeling, I should say, neither do I, of if you put like something with sleeves on inside of like a jacket, a sweater, or whatever, and the sleeves like don't stay down. It is one of the most frustrating feelings, and I think that really bothers her, so she just doesn't wear, I don't know. I know it bothers her because she will ask to wear a short sleeve shirt instead of a long sleeve shirt for things, and I'm just like, now I don't know how to keep this child warm. Also, child, you've been going to school since August. How have you never mentioned to me that you're cold in school? I imagine it's not that big of a deal because none of the teachers have like ever reached out to me. And I know they don't know our circumstances. They don't know, but they've seen her in a varying array of different winter gear. So I have to assume that like, if they were concerned, that they would be able to reach out, in a manner that is like, hey, your kid's cold. But anyway, so that was a super long tangent. I hope that you guys are all doing well. I will tell you guys about my week. It is not as fun and exciting as it usually is. I will get into the nuts and bolts of what was going on, but unfortunately, my kiddo got herself in trouble, and I actually am enforcing, like, she's punished right now, which sucks because something that children don't understand is that when they're punished and they can't go anywhere or can't do anything or whatever, like, the parents are also punished. And maybe you're not one of these people, but I am one of those people, like, I need a break. I need to get out of my house. I don't want to be in my home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I have been needing to run errands that I either have to do while she's at school or do, online. So that's been fun, but we'll get into that. So because of that, it's not as, I guess, thrilling to hear of us not really going places, but I guess, I mean, I don't think you guys are here to hear, like, exactly where I went, but more so of, like, the memories and the stories and the weird things, I guess. I don't know. You tell me, what are you here for? I have to say, and like I said, I'll talk about all of this, but, I am loving this kit so much. And I need to post the unboxing for you guys, so I will not be linking that in the eye in this video, but keep your eyeballs peeled. It is already recorded and it's ready to go. Anyway, so let's talk about the week. I don't think we did anything on Sunday. I can't find my notes from last week, and I was talking about this I don't do like full detailed notes. Like, I'm not going to show you guys in detail, but like this is what I have for the whole week. I just write down like where I went, um, or what activity we did, just in case, because sometimes, are you guys like this? If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. So I could sit here and tell you guys like all these amazing stories of things, or, just in general, but I couldn't tell you where I went last week if I don't reference it. But I don't keep track of like the funny stories or the little quotes or the Briarisms. And then I always forget, and I record, and then I sit down and I'm like, oh shoot, I totally forgot about all of this. Um, anyway, on Monday, our kid was off. It was President's Day. Um, and my husband was also off. And so we decided to go to this fire and ice festival. It's in a small town in central PA called Lidditz, which, if you've ever seen, there's a news clip of a woman talking about like small towns that you should visit. And she is not from Pennsylvania, and it is not a Pennsylvania broadcast. And she calls it Lidditz. Yeah, that's not that far from. It has been ranked as one of the best like small towns in the USA, I think. I don't know. We just went for the Fire and Ice Festival. But it was so much fun. It was a beautiful day, and it was they had all these things that were aimed towards children. So there was a bounce house, there were kids activities, there was a dance party, all sorts of cool stuff. So we went and we walked, and it's in this beautiful park. And in the park, there is this, I guess I'll call it like a stream, for lack of better term. I don't know what you would call it, because it's not a lake and it's not a creek. And I don't know if it was a man-made one or if they just happened to build this park around it. I'm not really sure, but it was super cool. And so there were these little tiny bridges across the stream on multiple places. So you could be on either side of it. And then at one point, the bridge became like the road that went over it. So you could get on either side of the land. And it was really cool. And there were all these ducks, tons of ducks. If you guys don't know, my daughter is super into ducks. She loves birds in general, but ducks are her number one. And I swear we could have just stayed there all day long, letting her just look at the ducks, talking to the ducks, watching the ducks fly, having conversations with the ducks. But she was so excited. And like, this is one thing I love about being a parent is you as an adult are never going to have, you're very rarely are you going to have those kind of moments anymore where something truly just amazes you and you are in shock and awe. And I have this memory. We took her to the aquarium a couple years ago, and that was like the first time it really hit me of like, I'm watching my daughter and her whole face is lighting up because she's seeing something she's never seen before. She doesn't know what it is, and it just is like, what is this majestic? And it was one of those kinds of moments, just watching her interacting with the ducks. And of course she's like, let's feed the ducks. And I was like, well, we don't have anything to feed the ducks. And then 3 feet later, there's a sign that's like, don't feed the ducks. You can feed them the duck food, but we didn't have the duck food, which I was okay with. But we walked along this stream, and I swear I thought it was going to take us all day to get to where we needed to go, because she just kept stopping every couple feet to be like, look, there's another duck. Look, there's ducks over here. And then she quacks at the ducks. I love it, you guys. I love it so much. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to be at the Fire and Ice Festival, because the previous years, I haven't noticed like a kid-friendly day, and this was marketed as such. It was, today most kids are off school, come and join us. So we went, and we had a really nice time. It is really hard to keep her directed. There's a lot of redirection for things, and the first thing we did was walk through where they had all of the bounce houses. Now, let me tell you, I have waited for things in my life before. I don't consider myself to be a patient person in general. I have patience for some things, but it is nothing compared to the level of I have no patience that my child has, because she saw all the bounce houses and, as expected, was like, I want to go on these. And so we let her know, these lines, girl, are from one end of the parking lot to the other. Now, it was a free event, so I understand. And there were tons and tons of kids. So we let her know, like, we're going to keep going, but I promise you we'll come back and you can pick one of the bounce houses that you want to go on. There was like an obstacle course, there was a slide, there were like 4 of them, I think 4 or 5 of them. And she was so mad because, you know, she wanted the instant gratification. I want to go on the bounce house now. I'm like, girl, we are not waiting in this line right now. So we ended up, she was ho-humming the whole time, but we ended up going past where they had all of the bounce houses to then see there was a fire truck, there was some food trucks on the other side of the stream, there were ice sculptures, which, oddly enough, the only thing we did not get to do was the ice structures, and that was simply because we were going to go walk through the bounce houses, then there was a fire truck, food trucks, and then we were going to circle back around, do the ice sculptures, see the ducks, and walk back to our car. Didn't work out that way, but that's okay. We were there for a couple hours, and, you know, I could tell she was super overstimulated, and it's a lot. When you do an outdoor event, there's so many noises, and you can't control the light because it's, you know, sunlight, or it's cloudy, or it's whatever. And it was just between all of the noises of the people, all of the noises of the food trucks going. It was super sunny. I could just see she was struggling a little bit. And I understand that because my daughter actually told her teachers that I was a vampire. I legit cannot go outside without sunglasses. The haze, oh my God, when it's hazy out, that is the worst for me because it's too dark with my sunglasses on, but I feel like my eyeballs are on fire when they're not. I have super, super, super light blue eyes, which is why I always thought like I was really sensitive to light, but I'm also wondering if it's like sensory related because I legit, if I have to walk from our front door to the car and I don't have my sunglasses, like I will bitch the whole time. And not like, oh, I'm complete. Like, I'm just like, I'm in pain. Get me into the car where I have a spare pair of sunglasses. If I get in the car and I don't have sunglasses, I don't care if everybody's ready to go. I have to go back in. I cannot. And I usually have like 2 or 3 pairs of sunglasses for that reason, so I don't have to worry about it. Which, where do you guys get your sunglasses? I've been wearing the same pair from Amazon for years. I just keep rebuying the same ones. And I love them. And it's not like they're like super cute. I guess they're cute, but they're not like super flattering or anything. I just love them. Anyway, so we went to the fire trucks first and we waited in line because there were only a couple families in front of us. Okay, cool. So she was really excited, and, you know, who doesn't love the idea of like getting a cute picture of their kid sitting in a fire truck? Well, she gets in and she goes, Mommy. I said, yeah, what's up, Ian? She said, Mommy, can you come sit in the fire truck with me? Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a fire truck. They are not low to the ground. The steps are giant. I am not a graceful person. I injure myself just sitting still or breathing. Like the amount of times that I'll be like sitting on the couch and just go, ow, my husband's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. I just hurt myself doing nothing. Welcome to my life. Welcome to being in your 40s. Although I can't blame it on that because I was just as accident prone when I was a much younger person and when I was, you know, much more fit and things like that. Anyway. So my husband is looking at me and you can tell he is like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I was like, okay, I'll try. Knowing damn well that if I got stuck, I was going to actually need to ask these firefighters to like assist me out of the truck. You guys, I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't going to be able to get up or down, but I got in and she was so excited. And I could see just like the look of fear on my husband's face. You guys, it was so much fun, but he you could tell he was so not happy that I had gotten up in this fire truck. And we were talking to the firefighters, and they were really, really nice. And it was just super cool. And like, my kid's been inside fire trucks before, but I've never been inside a fire truck. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, I'm sure my parents took me to like cool community events as well, but I don't remember that. And maybe they didn't, because, you know, the internet wasn't like a thing like it is now. But yeah, it was super fun. I really, really enjoyed that. And then we went over to the food trucks. We walked up and down just to see what they had. She got some samples of kettle corn, which she was really excited about. And then she decided she wanted a hot dog, I think. So my husband took her to one truck, and I was like, do you mind if I go check something out over here for myself? Sure. So apparently my daughter was like doing like a duck walk, you know, where you like squat down really low. And the family behind them didn't see my daughter and tripped over her. What a surprise. And my husband ended up having to buy replacement tater tots for that family because they spilled them all over my kid. I wasn't there, so I missed the whole thing. But I could tell like tensions were high, and I was like, well, this is super fun and awkward. Let's hope that this just improves, because it's not where anybody wants to be. How did I miss all this 310? All this 310, like 7 draws. But anyway, so they got their thing. I got an empanada, and I don't remember what else. And my husband was like, no lie, Lindsay, this is one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life. If you guys know anything about me, I don't eat hamburgers. I don't eat chicken. I will occasionally eat chicken. I don't like chicken, but I don't eat hamburgers. I do eat ground beef. I just don't eat hamburgers. I also don't eat ham. Fun fact, total tangent. The amount of people in my life that have said to me, you know, hamburgers aren't made out of ham. Yes, I'm well aware of that. I just don't like, and I love pork. I just don't like the taste or texture of ham. We had pork last night. And then I always get, but you're Jewish. Yes, I don't keep kosher. I love bacon. I just don't like ham. Anyway, so after we ate, we got a little bit more energy. We were trying to figure out what to do next. There was a really cool little dance party area for the kids, and I was in there with Briar, and she was just having the time of her life. You guys, this was the most janky little setup ever. They were these YouTube videos of like, I don't know if you've ever seen them. My friend does a couple of these with her kids. I forget what they're officially called. If I can remember, I'll put it on the screen. But they are these like run videos. So it could be like the Olaf run. And you basically turn it on, and it kids think that they're playing like a Wii game. Is Wii even the thing anymore? I don't know. Switch, whatever it is now. Where they tell them like run, jump, do all these things, and the kids do the motions, but they're not actually controlling the characters on the screen. They just think they are. So she was so excited. I might have a clip that I can put in of her getting down and dancing. If I do, I will put that in here for you.
Grab the present. Let's go. Jump. Jump. Sing the Santa song.
But you guys, it was so much fun. She loved it. And then when she was done the dance party, we started walking back, and I could see like her tank was on empty, and she didn't want to go back to the other side to go check out the ice sculptures, which was fine. But it was such a great little community activity, and it was free. I mean, obviously we paid for like our food and stuff like that at the food trucks, but it was a free activity, which you don't get a lot of those kinds of things anymore. And we end up at a lot of like food truck events in that area. So like, this was nice. It was a nice little way to celebrate our day together. And I had a really great time. And I assume my husband enjoyed it. He's working, so I can't really ask him. Although I messaged him because I was like, what did we do on Monday after Fire and Ice? Because again, I looked at my Google timeline, and it told me that we were at a bar for 2 hours that 100% we were not at. So I'm like, where does it think that we were? Because that's not it. Let's pull some AVs out here. Oh, you guys, I have to pack this up today. If you don't know, this is Train of Dreams, and it is massive. It's 176 centimeters by 46 centimeters. This is longer than I am in height, which makes for a very difficult time taking photos. But I have to pack this up. I guess I don't have to, but I'm going to craft night tonight. And I'm not a 2-WIP kind of person. So now I'm like, okay, do I find a second project and just take that with me instead? Or do I pack all of this up to go? I don't normally have any issues packing up my diamond paintings to go to craft night, which is just me and a bunch of other typically older women. Oh my God. And it's me and Erica from Kevin's Creations, and usually a bunch of people that are older than us. And we just bring whatever craft that we're working on, and Eric and I both diamond paint. And we have people there that do crocheting. We have people who are doing paper. Like, we had a woman making, like, paper dolls, somebody making, like, handmade cards. Scrapbooking, just whatever craft you're into, you can bring it with you. Which, if anybody has a recommendation for a chargeable, like one a light pad you can charge and can be used wireless, please let me know either down below or send me a message, because I would love to take a light pad with me to craft night, but this one would require me bringing an extension cord, and I'm not really trying to do that. I also don't want to be the reason that somebody comes in and like trips and falls. You know, I'm not really about that. But anyway, after all of that, we came home. We had nap time. I say that in air quotes. And then we had ice skating in the evening. It was the last class for our winter 1 session, and it was a bring a friend night. So my daughter, for anyone who is new here, my kiddo has been ice skating for about 3.5 years. She is, I'm sorry, 2.5 years, not 3.5, Lindsay. I really need to change the wax on this, and I don't want to. She asked a classmate who we've actually known her entire life, and she said that she would love to come. Now, I talked to the skating director because I was like, listen, our friend has never been on ice skates before, and my daughter's in the higher level of the basic levels. And I was told, you know, like, oh yeah, they'll make sure that she's where she should be, because the whole point is that they are in the lesson with their friend. But I knew that she wouldn't be able to, you know, keep up with my kid, and I don't mean that in a harsh way. It's just, if you've never been on ice skates, you're not going to be out there like working on crossovers and spirals. You want to be able to figure out how to stand up and how to fall safely and get back up. And so the excuse me, the kid that got on right in front of my daughter's friend forgot to take her skate guards off, which, listen, that is a rite of passage. It happens to everyone who figure skates at some point in their life. But my daughter's friend, she took one look of this girl who just stepped right on the ice and fell hard, like really hard. And you could see she was super freaked out. And of course, I had reminded my kid, you know, your friend doesn't know how to ice skate. Please don't just skate off. She's like, okay, mommy. Like 30 seconds later, she got on the ice and skated away. I'm like, well, that was not what you were supposed to do. But they ended up getting her friend into one of the beginner sides, and she actually ended up doing a really great job. And I was so proud of her because she had never done it before. My daughter's been asking, like, if she could come with us, and it just worked out really, really well. And it was such a great little time. And her little brother was there, and he kept saying, where's Briar? Where's Briar? And her mom was like, Briar's down that way. Sissy's over here. And it was so sweet. And I'm really glad that we had an opportunity to bring a friend. And I was also a little worried that no friend would come, just because it's a difficult time. It's 5:30. And especially if you are somebody who, like, a lot of her classmates have younger siblings, and it's harder to juggle 2, 3, 4 kids around dinner time and having to accommodate either eating way early or way late. It just, I wasn't sure how it would work out. So I was very pleased that it worked out the way it did. I had a really great time. And then we just grabbed some dinner after skating. And then I noticed my daughter was getting like really congested. And I assumed that it was probably because she had just been skating, which is super common. The older ice skaters, like when they go out, and when I mean older, I mean like not like tiny little kids. They all have like boxes of tissues in their skate bags and things like that. So they are always having runny noses. It's just, that's what happens when you're skating in a rink that's 20 something degrees. And so the next morning she woke up and she was like really grumpy, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be that parent that sends my kid to school when they're sick, even if it's not like a major sickness. Like, she'll survive missing a day of school, and I'm sure her classmates appreciate me not bringing a snotty little kid to school, because then they end up having snotty little kids. Fun tangent. If you guys have been around for a long time and heard me talking about the chronic ear infections I deal with, I love when I went to the ENT and he said to me, well, just try not to get sick so often. Oh my God, what a novel idea. You know, I've been out here every single day going, how can I get sick this week? No, I have a school-age child. They bring everything home with them, and kids are gross. I have a kid, and I'm the first to tell you, kids are gross, man. I don't want those germs. But alas, I get them, so I didn't want to be the person that sent her germy kid in and got everyone else sick. So we stayed home, and, you know, usually on those kinds of days, we stay home, we maybe watch a movie. I'm not like a screen time mom with my kid. I did not set out to be that way. I am not a crunchy mom. Although I'm getting crunchier as I get older, but I am not one of those people that's like, tablets are the devil. Screen time is the devil. But unfortunately, my particular human has a really difficult time transitioning from watching TV to anything else, and to just not deal with the behavior that comes with it. We just don't do it. So sometimes she'll get like an episode of TV before bed, if she's good, if we have time. But then like rainy days or sick days, we'll do a movie, just for fun. I've taken her to movie theaters and things like that, but not, like, she's not that kid who's got a TV on in the house all the time. So we made some friendship bracelets, which she was really, really excited about. My husband and I had gone to Michael's the previous week, if I'm not mistaken, and they had this friendship bracelet kit on sale for like $5. And it has the string, the elastic, some beads. So she decided she wanted to make one for one of her little besties in our class and make it say love, because she loves her. Cool. We pull out all the letters, we pull out all the beads, we start doing it. And then she's like, I want to make one for this kid. I'm like, okay, what do you want that one to say? And she's like, I want it to say this. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm going through the letters, and I'm like, okay, so you're telling me of all of the letters, there was one O, one L. I'm like, so we can't do a lot of words because everything that she was coming up with. So she ended up writing BFF on that one. And then she wanted to make one for another kid in the class, and she wrote his name, which we had the letters for that. And we made one with her name on it. So she was really, really excited, and she had a really good time crafting, and she wanted to bring them to school the next day to give to her friends. And I asked her, I said, you know, do a lot of your classmates, do they do friendship bracelets? If you guys didn't know, friendship bracelets are like a huge thing with like the Taylor Swift, the Swifties, if you will. And my daughter has recently discovered Taylor Swift, or Taylor Swift, as she says. Sometimes it's just, I mean, it's always Taylor, but sometimes it's Taylor Swift. But that's not why she wanted to do the friendship bracelets. She just thought they'd be fun. And so, of course, she made some. She brought them to school. And then we explained to her, you know, if somebody asks you to make one and you don't want to, you can say no. You don't need to offer an explanation. No is a complete sentence. And of course, she comes home from school. She's so excited. She's like, oh my gosh, mommy, so-and-so wants me to make a bracelet for her. And I was like, I'm sorry, did you say the one kid in your class who, when she talks about the kids in her class, the only child that she says I don't like is the one that asked her for a bracelet? And I said, well, what did you say to her? And she said, yeah, I told her I would make one. And I'm like, you tell us all the time that she's not nice to you. You don't like her. And I've also let her know, like, that's okay. Not that it's okay that this girl's not nice to her, but it's okay. You don't have to be friends with everybody, and everybody doesn't have to like you, and everybody's not going to like you. That's just a fact. But I don't want her, to grow up and being like trying to people please and make everybody like her, because there's some people that just don't mash, and that's fine. So she was like, I'm gonna make one for her. I'm like, oh, okay, if you really want to, we can make one for her. I'm not gonna tell her, like, no, you're not allowed to. I just thought it was very odd that my daughter wanted to make one for the girl in the class that doesn't like her. But we did not get to that point. And I will tell you why here in a moment. I finished my Sparkle Queens Creations kit that day. If you guys have not seen it and you would like to see the post review for that, I will link that one up in the eye. I did a Walmart grocery order because she wasn't feeling well. And my husband had the car that day. So I was like, we're going to just make it easy. You guys, I would like to say, for the record, we have a crockpot cookbook that was gifted to us. And we have now had, it's either 2 or 3 weeks in a row where I have my daughter go through the cookbook with me and pick out recipes for the week. Why is it that every recipe this child picks, every single one, has been good? And then I'm like, oh, all right, I picked one recipe this week. I picked one recipe. It was dry. It had almost no flavor. And I was like, what is happening here? That, like, my pork, it had pork with apples and mustard and brown sugar and onions and then garlic and herbs on top. And I tasted nothing but dry pork. Meanwhile, my kid's picking out all these things left and right. They taste delicious. But anyway, that night, she was feeling much better. The nose was stopped running. And we had, we were going to send her to school in the morning, as long as she woke up fine, which she did. So I took her to school. I went to the post office, and then I started this WIP. And I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But there's going to be a lot of explaining here. So this might be a lot, but I'm going to explain it the best that I can. My daughter's bedroom is connected to a Jack and Jill bathroom. If you don't know what that means there is a bedroom here, and a bathroom that connects between the two. So you can go into or out of the bathroom from either side bedroom. Now, my daughter has known to get herself into a lot of trouble in her bathroom. We have found potions being made under the sink. We have found she will wet things like toilet paper or paper towels, put them on the wall. She will continuously climb under her sink, and I know she likes to go under the sink because she likes a tight area, and she did used to have like a pod in her room, but then she was being dangerous and climbing up the wall. Long story. And after a lot of arguing, and definitely not something I wanted to do, we ended up taking the bathroom door from her room to the bathroom off. Now, I am definitely one of those people. If I say, if you do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Now, sometimes it's easier to hold that boundary than other times. And I don't remember when we took the door off. It was recent. It might have been the same week. No, I think it was last week. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The door's taken off because now she can't go in there and hide in the bathroom when she's not supposed to be in there. She is more than welcome to use the bathroom as a bathroom when she needs to use the bathroom. But after I've tucked her in for bed, I don't need her climbing into her room and playing in the bathroom and doing all these things. And unfortunately, I can't block the water from like working in her sinks. There's 2 sinks in her bathroom. There's a toilet and a bathtub. So there's access to things that I don't want her playing with, and she just continues to play with them. Part of what happens is my kid will get bored, and that's when she becomes destructive and starts doing things she shouldn't. So we go into her room, we're getting her ready for bed, and I said to her, "Where are your glasses?" Now, mind you, I put this right on the glue. Mind you, her bedroom currently has her bedroom furniture, and that's it. There's no toys in there. She recently lost, she had a set of drawers that we used for her clothing for the week, but she was putting other things in there, and she was continuously going into the corner of her room, like where she can't be seen on camera, and I don't know what she was doing back there, but she was like hiding back there instead of being in her bed. All these things, none of them are really that important. The fact of the matter is, she lost her glasses. Now, there's nowhere to lose your glasses in her room because she has a set of drawers, an armoire, and a bed. So if they're not on the windowsill, which is where they normally go, and they're not in the bathroom, because I went into the bathroom and I looked in the drawers, I looked under the sink, I looked around the toilet, the next instinct was, did she hide them in a drawer in her bedroom? No, we went through everything. Did you flush it down the toilet? No, I didn't. I promise you, I didn't. Okay. Did you put it down the air vent? No, mommy, I promise you, I didn't do that. Now, I've had some issues where my daughter will look me dead in the eyes and be very convincing and lie about something, usually something really little, but enough, like, I don't appreciate being lied to. I understand that's all part of developmental, and they're growing, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But as, like, a human being, I don't like being lied to. As her mom, I don't like being lied to. So we're going and going and going. My husband and I have now torn apart this room for like an hour. And I'm like, where are your glasses? I don't know, mommy. I promise I don't know. I don't know where they are. I really don't know. So I said to her, did you go into the spare bedroom? Now, again, the bedroom is on the other side of her bathroom. Okay, let's remember that. She is not allowed to go in there because we don't use that room as a bedroom currently. We use it we have storage racks in there and all of these things. And we don't have people staying at our house, so it's not like I need it as a guest room. And what we were doing is we were putting her toothpaste and her soap in the spare bedroom and locking the door so that when she needed to go to the bathroom, wash her hands, brush her teeth, do all of that stuff, we would get it for her. She very easily figured out how to unlock the door and was going in there on her own, which we were not happy about. So, fast forward to her continuously telling me, I don't know, I didn't do anything, I don't know where my glasses are. We walk in. Now, when I tell you, like, you walk in, literally there's 2, like, 6-foot racks. And then behind those racks is a trundle bed that we've taken the mattress from the pull-out part off. And that's in the hallway because we've had that where, like, my husband has slept on the floor in my daughter's room when she wasn't feeling well before. And so he goes over, you walk in, there are the racks, the bed's behind it. In the corner, there's a table. And on that table is a box of Pez dispensers that I've been collecting for like 25 years. He walks in and he notices that there are Pez wrappers and like little Pez candies all over the table. Now, I am seeing red at this point because these are my collectibles. These are things I've been collecting for years, and I don't want to open them, and I don't want to eat the Pez. Like, I just want to keep the dispensers. So I got very, very upset about that. And then she, of course, admitted that she did that. And I was like, okay, so you've definitely been in the spare bedroom when you promised mommy you weren't. And she, with a lot of resistance and reluctance, yes, mommy, I was. Okay, well, then where are your glasses? I don't know. Still telling us this. I said, okay, well, when you went in and you got those Pez, did you do anything else? No. Over and over and over again. And I go, Did you go in another time? And she said, well, yeah, I got my toothpaste and my soap. And I said, okay, let me ask you a silly question here, Briar. When you went in and you got the soap and the toothpaste, can you show me what you did? So she's like, okay. So she walks in, and directly in front of her is the rack that has the toothpaste and the soap. Did she grab it off of that? No. She went around the rack, climbed under a metal rack that was over by the Pez table, climbed over the metal tracks where the trundle bed goes, like the mattress goes, and then into the corner where there is a tiny, like toddler-sized rocking chair. And I said to her, I go, so look next to you. Are your glasses over there? And she goes, oh my gosh, there are my glasses. You guys, I was so angry. And I'm not angry that her glasses were in there. I'm not thrilled about that. What I'm angry about is we have a rule in our house that if you do something wrong, you do something bad, whatever it is, if you are honest about it, you will not get in trouble for it. And I gave her every opportunity to be honest with me. And sorry, I'm trying to figure out where this ends. And she looked me dead in the eyes and said to me she didn't know where her glasses were and that she hadn't gone in the other room. And I said to her, the last time, I said, I'm giving you one last chance. If you lie to me, you will be punished. And I said, your punishment is going to be no TV or movies. We're not going to be doing any more of your friendship bracelets. There will be no play dates, no going to the library. Basically, no fun. Because I need my daughter to sit in that boredom and realize that she can be bored and be creative with her imagination without being destructive, without putting wet paper towels all over the wall, without making potions, without putting things into the toilet, without climbing into furniture that she shouldn't be into, without emptying all of her drawers. Like, just be bored, and be bored enough that it makes you go, this sucks. I never want to do this again. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to be honest. So, super long story short, our kid is currently on, I don't know how many days of it. And because of that, that means that, like, I couldn't run to do a Target run with her, because then it's inevitably going to be, well, we're going out and doing something, even if it's not for her, because then can we go look at this? Can we go? And I also don't want to deal with it. I have not been out of my house other than to take my kid to school or ice skating. We had a long conversation. I do not want to punish her by taking away figure skating lessons, because it's something she really loves, and I don't want to punish her by taking away one of her disciplines. But we also decided this time we're going to take a step back and do one less lesson a week to see if maybe that'll help improve some of the behaviors at the rink. Because if she's missing it, maybe she'll love it more and want to put in the effort. But it was just amazing to me how every single day this kid, over and over and over again, I don't know where my glasses are. I didn't go into the other room. And I'm just like, listen, kid, I know you did. I know you did, because your glasses are gone, and there's nowhere else they could be except for in the other room. So far, while she's been punished, she's snuck out of her room to bring a toy into her room thinking nobody noticed. And I'm just like, so the last couple days have been really good. I think it's because she actually got a lot of sleep. Like, she was sleeping till like 9:45 in the morning, which I obviously can't let her do during the school week, because she has to go to school. And it sucks because she's waking up like 3 hours earlier than that to go to school. But I can't get her to go to sleep any earlier than she's been going to sleep. She just sits in her room and sings and dances. And again, she doesn't have, books and toys and all those things, because everything distracts her from actually doing the things she needs to do, like sleeping and trying to sleep. I'm always like, girl, you got to close your eyeballs. You got to close your eyeballs. That's the only way. So, we dealt with the curious case of the missing glasses, and this has been one of the most frustrating weeks of my life, because I Again, I don't like being lied to. But I'm the kind of mom that, like, if I see something that I know she'll love, a craft project, a toy, or whatever, like, I get it for her because she's only going to be so little for so long. She's only going to want to do these things with mommy for so long, and it sucks. Like, I want to enjoy our time together, and I want to have fun, and I don't want to be the mean mommy, and I don't want to be the one that's, disciplining and having to bring the hammer down and all that stuff. And I know, like, I'm doing the right thing. It just sucks. And so the majority of our week was spent going to school, coming home from school, and doing nothing. We read some books. She's got a whole bunch of books from the library that need to go back. And so on Friday, she had her private lesson, and I was like, listen, kid, this is how it's going to work. We're going to get to the rink. You're going to sit down. Mommy's going to get you ready because she wants to be fiercely independent. I totally understand that. And she wants to put on her own skates, but then she can't get them tied tight enough, and that affects her ability to skate properly. And I don't love this particular rink has, vending machines and an ATM, like, right there in the lobby, and she is always going over and, like, touching the machines, and I'm just like, leave the stuff alone. Just sit down, let me get you dressed. But I have gone over with her because she's really struggling to understand, because she cries to me, but mommy, I'm so bored. And I said, here's the thing though, you have the choice. And this is the whole point of, like, part of her being punished, is that you have the choice when you're bored to sit in that boredom and either come through it, either be bored or be bored and allow yourself to be creative. But the choices are accept the boredom or try to cure the boredom by doing something you shouldn't be doing. And I'm really, really, really hoping, because she is going to be punished till the end of the month. I'm really hoping that she understands that, like, this is not, I say it and she doesn't believe me. Like, this is not going to be tolerated. I'm not going to continue to allow this kind of behavior. And obviously I can't stop it from happening. And I would much rather never have had to punish my kid. I'm not really like a timeout kind of mom. I'm more of like a let's sit together and, like, discuss it. But she doesn't want to do that, which I totally understand. But I just can't get her to understand, like, you have to stay out of trouble. Because you're getting yourself in trouble by trying to not be bored. And that'd be fine if she was honest about it. Like, if I walked into her room and she said, Mommy, I have to tell you something. I played with the paper towels and there's wet paper towels all over the wall. Then I would have been like, I really appreciate you telling me that. Inside, I would have been really, really angry, but I would have, on the outside, thanked her for being honest with me. Let's not do it again. Let's move on. But instead, she waits till I walk into her bathroom and then is like, I don't know how that got there. Girl, who else did it? You're the only one. So it has just been, part of this week has just been really, really long. And it's crazy because we've had such polarizing moments where it was these beautiful moments of just sheer joy and happiness and, like, making family memories. And then other moments of just destruction and lies and all of these things. And I know that I would rather have a kid who is speaking up and getting herself into trouble like this than a kid who never gets themselves in trouble ever is internalizing it. And sometimes I feel like it would just be nice to, like, catch a little bit of a break, or, have a kid that doesn't try to flood their sinks or put wet paper towels all over their walls or make potions with multiple bottles of toothpaste all over underneath the sink. Or, I wouldn't put it past her. My husband and I were talking about it, of, like, her actually flushing those glasses down the toilet. And it's hard because she's such a good kid, but she's making such dumb choices. And I can only redirect and encourage her so many times. And yes, when she does a great job, I give her the positive reinforcement. But my child, unfortunately, and I love her dearly, like, let's not get it twisted, is one of those kids that, like, she's like, consequences? Okay, sure. So when I told her, like, you don't get any TV or movies for the rest of February, and she's like, that's okay, Mommy. I can just watch TV when the month is over. I mean, yes, you can. But that's the point, is that you should be like, that sucks. I want to watch TV. I don't want to act like this again. But then that doesn't that doesn't happen. And then it's, oh, that's okay, Mommy. Or I tell her what her punishment is, and I actually punish her, and she's just like, okay, whatever. It's exhausting. And I always say, like, I love my kid. My kid is a very difficult, strong-willed child. And one day, and I wholeheartedly believe this, one day my child will change the world. I just have to survive her first. And honestly, there are some days that I'm like, I am never going to make it out of this alive. Like, I am in awe of people who have multiple children, because I've got one and I can barely handle her on her best days. And, and then that brings you to, like, the ideal of what motherhood is, and what motherhood looks like is so different than what I expected it to be. And we live in a society where, you can't complain about motherhood or parenting because, well, you asked for it. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm not saying I don't want my kid anymore. What I'm saying is I'd like, a village. I don't have that. I'd like some support. I don't have that. Like, my husband is a super hands-on dad, but sometimes, like, and I've expressed this before, like, I'm just crumbling under the mental load of everything I have to do. And, like, this week in particular has been really trying for me, because, like, I just want to get out of the house. And the only opportunity that I have to do that is when my kid is at school, which, okay, fine. But a lot of times, it's not worth it for me to go do a Target run by myself when my kid is in school for like 2.5 hours. Also, side note, can we talk about this real quick before my time ends here? My daughter goes to half-day kindergarten. I've talked about it before. It's like the bane of my existence. I appreciate that she's learning and doing all the things. But at the same token, all of the summer camp programs for her age are full-day programs. She will be in full-day school next year. And I've come to realize, like, the school does no sort of transition program, which I think would be really great, like, towards the end of the year, even if it's just like, maybe for 2 weeks, every other day, your kid stays full day, just so they understand the process of what it's like to have a lunchtime, to have a longer day, because come August, when she starts in first grade, they're going to expect that she has the behavior on point of a child who's in first grade. But you're sending her to first grade after only letting her go to school for 2.5 hours a day in kindergarten. And the 2.5 hours is sometimes like a lot in terms of behavior. And now you're going to be expecting more. And I know people are going to say that it's not the school's job, it's the parent's job. And yes, it is my job to raise my child. It is my job to teach my child how to be a good human being. And it's my job to prepare her as much as possible. But I don't have access of somewhere that I can just send my kid from 9 to 3 so she can understand what a full day away from mommy and daddy is like. I can't send her somewhere where she has to go through a cafeteria line. And I know when she starts first grade, they'll go through all these things and there's an adjustment period. But I wish that there was a way that we could ease that adjustment for these kids before the school year starts. And I'm just, like, as a parent, I feel so lost because I want to help her and I don't know how to help her. And I'm constantly reminding her that the way she behaves is less and less acceptable the older she gets. Like, you can't act like a little baby when you're 6 years old. You certainly can't act like that at summer camp and at school and things like that. And I signed her up for another camp for this summer, and I reached out to the camp director because I do have concerns that, it's going to be a lot for her. And unfortunately, this particular camp, it says on their website, if you have a child who maybe has some behavioral issues or who has, separation anxiety or whatever, that you, an adult, can be present with them to help them through it. Great, that's fine and dandy. I have no problem, except for this one is at a humane society. So it is literally, I will die. I am so allergic to cats and dogs and rabbits and probably other things that I can't sit with my kid surrounded by animals, not just one animal, but like a room full of animals for hours. Like, I can barely breathe when I go into somebody's house, and I take my medication before I go, and I have an inhaler, and I'm taking an allergy pill, and then I have to leave the house because my eyes are swelling shut and I can't breathe. Like, so I reached out to the camp director. I'm really hopeful, but it's not till the end of summer, so we'll see if that helps for school. But I've hit the hour mark. I might be over it. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you made it all the way to the end, leave me some sort of animal emoji so I know you made it. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One in real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad, and while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!